Welcome to a very special Turnbuckle Trash Talk interview. I am your officiant, Kent. Our very own Latin liaison, Isaiah, had a moment to sit down with the technical alchemist, David Mercury, himself, and his assistant, Wiley Jean. Now, before we get to the interview, we're going to take a quick look at a snapshot of the career of David Mercury.
Welcome everybody again to another episode of Turnbuckle Trash Talk. I'm your host for today, Isaiah Reyes. But fellas, as you see, chairs are empty. So's my heart. My guys are out. It's called #bookings. You know, it's not an easy life that they live. So, we're going to get quickly to this show. It's a great show. You guys are going to be happy for this one. It's a treat. It's going to be what some young kids call juice and knowledge. So, I want you guys to pay very close attention. This is going to be great. I want to introduce our guest today. I'll first start off with his assistant. He's a man that I've seen him around. He is the assistant Wiley Jean. Give it up for Mr. Wiley Jean. How are you, Mr. Wiley? It's okay. That's all right. Oh, Wiley Jean, guys. Wiley Jean. No relation to Billie Jean. It's all right. He didn't come alone, folks. He did not come alone. You came alone. Oh, you didn't come alone. Ladies and gentlemen, the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury.
Greetings, Isaiah. How are you this afternoon?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic.
Finally on Turnbuckle Trash Talk. I am exquisitely satisfied for this opportunity.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
Wiley, please. If you would give me one moment before I settle down.
Yes. You take your time, my friend. You do what you got to do.
Do not care to crease my lab coat.
I don't blame you. Creases, not a lot of people know how to iron nowadays or permanent press or something like that. It's tough.
Nor does my Wiley, but he does got a good dry cleaner.
Okay. He's got the plug. That's what he's got.
Yes, it is.
Is Wiley for hire? Is he available sometimes? That's Mr. Wiley? No. He's contracted. He's contracted through you. Okay. Here we are. Turnbuckle Trash Talk. With the one and only.
Correct.
The Technical Alchemist.
There is only one.
That's it. Mr. Mercury, because that's long. I don't want to keep on saying the Technical Alchemist. If that's cool with you, I don't want.
No, that is not cool. You will address me as the Technical
Okay,
Alchemist.
I'm gonna give it a shot. Give it a shot throughout the entire show. Okay, all right. Well, Mr. The Technical Alchemist, David Mercury.
Correct.
Oh, man, that was pretty solid. I want to open up with questions, that a lot of people tend to ask. Generally speaking. As a pro wrestler, young in the game, they call us greenies, when you first start training.
Correct.
Did you remember what your first ring name was?
Matter of fact, I do. My first ring name was David Mercury.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was.
So you're loyal.
Correct. The name was given to me actually when I was pursuing amateur wrestling back in high school and had a friend who also ran a backyard promotion. And by the way I used to wrestle on the mat, he says, man, you know how to turn it from hot to cold at a snap of a finger, man. You need a good name to go with what you're portraying. And he's like, how do you feel about the name David Mercury? And from there, the rest is history.
Right.
I pursued that name with wrestling with my name for the last 17 years, and it's been a hell of a ride. There has been some evolution along the road to leading up to who you now see today, the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury.
I know, being young, when we're in love with wrestling, when we all, everyone imagined, oh, my wrestling name's gonna be this, my wrestling name's gonna be that. I was always hell bent. Like I already knew what my finisher move was gonna be. Mine was gonna be obviously the Texas Cloverleaf because I mean I never forget the first time I saw Dean Malenko do it and lock it in. I thought that is the most gorgeous, and the way he executed it so quick, it just looked flawless. I was like, that's an awesome move. What did you see yourself like? What move like caught your eye when you were young, just young and wrestling, and you just said, you know what? That'd be it.
I would have to say it was the Taz mission. Reason why I chose the Taz mission is what I feel to be one of my finishers in the business when I first started was for the fact that it was one of those moves that bend the rules. Of course, we all know choking is illegal in wrestling, and you always have to make the break before 5 when you're choking your opponent. Right. But that move, once locked in, it set a tone, it set a fear down whoever was locked in it that they didn't want to be choked out, so they were forced to tap. Yeah. And I remember distinctively when Taz was making his transition from ECW over to WWE and how JR and Jerry the King Lawler would commentate about that and about how is it really a legal move or not due to the fact of the choking. And I like that Taz played that with his character, and at the time with me being David Mercury, hot or cold at any moment, I feel like the Taz mission was something that was quite suitable for a young, early David Mercury.
Yeah, it's like it's like you say, it's like one of those moves that were borderline illegal. Like you could argue it. Yes. So it was just an awesome move. It looked aggressive. You just dominant too because you just grab them and they're not going nowhere. So
and then when he turned it into a suplex, the Taz mission suplex, flipping the dude right over his head while choking him out. Yeah. No one has. I have yet to see anybody do that.
No one else. No one else. I don't think no one dares to try it.
Oh, no.
The choke. No choke.
No choke.
No.
Gene, you're choking us.
He's going to steal second base. That's what the sleeper hold. There's no beard. That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Gotcha.
Beard itches. That's what he's saying.
Oh, getting choked out.
Getting choked out. You know what they say.
No.
Yeah. Blackout before they tap out. That's what a lot of people say.
There you go. Is that it? You were playing charades with my Wiley. Very good, Wiley.
I won. That's a point for me. I'll give myself a point. Why not? You know, that's a pretty awesome move. I'm not gonna lie. Now, as your journey started to in pro wrestling, of course. Do you remember who was your first booking?
Right off the bat, I cannot remember his name. When I first started, it wasn't a official booking. When I first started, I was making my rounds like most green kids should be today by showing up at a show with your gear in hand, ready to rock and roll, and ready to help the promotion in any way. So, of course, I made my way out to a little promotion out in Zephyr Hills at the time, and went over there to help out, meet the promoter, let him know I had my gear ready to wrestle, and he gave me an opportunity to wrestle somebody. Normally, if a person radiates positivity, I normally try to stay around that type of person. Right. But this guy kind of had a negative aura around him in the locker room, and from other people, he tended to be a little difficult to work with. Right. So with that being the case, I didn't tend to remember his name due to the fact that the following week, he was nowhere to be found. So that's why I didn't remember him. But I do remember along the way when I graduated from that promotion and made my way up to NSW, New School Wrestling.
Shout out.
Yeah, and with that opportunity, I got to wrestle a lot of upcomers and established vets in the Florida scene, some being from the Davis Twins, the Heartbreak Express, having the opportunities of working Mr. Pretty Good, or at the time, the big man on campus, Steve Madison, and also having the opportunities to wrestle guys like Barney Rumble and Raymond Snow, or the Snowman, right. Which was a great time to start out pro wrestling and a great group of guys to start working with.
Right. That's awesome, man. I mean, I can't believe you wrestled Barney Rubble. That's impressive, man.
Rumble.
Barney Rumble. Barney. That's awesome, man. Going back, as far as when you were in your wrestling green area, not even. Let's take it back even further.
My 50th shade of green is what we're talking about.
Not even. Let's talk about when you were at home watching wrestling as a child.
Gotcha.
Who was your influences as far as like who was your guys? You know, me growing up, I would say my guys, of course, of my era was of course Hulk Hogan. That was the guy that he was running it, you know.
Gotcha.
But I would say my guy that I looked up to as a kid, I just don't know why it was Jake the Snake Roberts. It's just weird. I was drawn to him. You know?
Master of the DDT.
Oh my God, it was fantastic. Something so simple, and he just owned it, man.
Definitely.
Who was your guy?
Well, of course, as a kid growing up, it tended to evolve as my love for wrestling in certain areas began. Like one of my, I would say, Jake the Snake was up there, Mr. Perfect, Macho Man Randy Savage. But then as I started to get older and making my way into the collegiate scene around the same time that Kurt Angle already just won the gold medal, was making his rounds from ECW, making his home in WWE, and then making his set debut there. Keeping up with that, and started watching the wrestlers, the guys who were dubbed the wrestlers, the Malinkos, the Benoits, the Regals. I started following those guys because those were the footsteps that I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave a imprint on the scene of not just character, but contributing to wrestling as well. So I started following those guys, and lo and behold, a great opportunity when I was in my teens, amateur wrestling, to get an opportunity to work with one of my idols, which was Kurt Angle, and being able to roll around on the mat with him and my fellow amateur wrestling students from my high school was pretty remarkable. And that was the proverbial nail in the coffin that told me, this is you, David. This is what you want to become. This is where you strive to be. Yeah. And 17 years later, here I am today, still living it, still pushing forward. So
that's awesome.
That's where it would go.
Kurt Angle rolling around. That's it.
Yes,
that's why
that man is truly fast. Truly fast.
We got a question actually from a fan.
Oh yes.
Yeah. We have he's at A Lewis Nove. He's asking, David Mercury, how many squats do you do before breakfast?
How many squats I do?
And now this question is for the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury.
Well, I do enough Hindu squats to get me to think long and hard about what I want to do and not what I want to steal.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. That is deep.
So approximately 150.
150. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Now, A. Lewis Nove, now you got to do 150 Hindu squats as you're watching this video. Now, we're going to get you the big point. This episode here we wanted to talk about. I don't want to say that I've seen your entire journey. I've seen the Technical Alchemist. I want to say be born. This whole deal. When I first met you, I said to myself, "This guy's a phenomenal wrestler. This guy's got it," And just when I thought that, in my mind, he can't get better. Like, he's a great wrestler. He's already got it. He's good to go. Boom. This character develops. I want to see, how important do you think it is compared to back in the days as character development? How important it is for someone to really invest in that, in a personality and to build, because I'm telling you, man, when I first saw it, I was so impressed, man. Like, my hair stood up. I was like, that was awesome when I saw you with the lab coat.
Now, when it comes to the character development of how I became the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury, well, it came to a point while Jeannie and myself was on the road that we felt that we could not solely rely on just our wrestling abilities and our psychology in the ring. We realized that we needed to corner something, and it's not just a pop-up character. I just didn't grab the first thing that I saw and ran with it. No, this was a lot of planning, and with planning there's trial, error, and then your tribulations. And through the influence, shall I say, around the community around me, my lovely wife Rebecca, Wiley Jean, and even some of the vets that I've had in my corner that have supported me quietly throughout the scene, like the Tokyo Monster, Cahagas. Very, very knowledgeable man when it comes to this business and this sport. And he was the one who kind of was telling me, along with the others, that you needed something. You needed something that not just attracts the eyes, but it's an extension of you. Something that the people can relate, something that they could follow.
Right.
Something they can understand.
Yeah.
So, May 13th, we dove right in. We grabbed the lab coat, you dropped on the scrubs, and we dove right in. And to be honest, I thought the reaction was going to be nothing but laughter. I thought people were going to think I was some type of a madman.
Yeah.
But realized shortly after, as I started to move forward with this, everyone started to realize that this man is onto something.
Yeah.
And I truly appreciate, since May 13th, the growth that the Technical Alchemist has procured with the help of the fans and the people that come and support local professional wrestling, and seeing what I've done, because they, like you said, you know that I was a good wrestler, but it was just what was going to stand out. And it was this. This is what stood out. And now today, we're already going into 2019. Yes, going into 2019 with a very bright and prosperous future.
Yes.
So the importance of character development is making sure that it's something that the fans get, that they can relate to or understand.
Right.
I feel a lot of people get lost in translation when they're trying to express what they are trying to portray in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's not something that they're going to get overnight. It's not something that they're going to get within their first year. Like I said, I've been in this business for 17 years, and through that amount of years, I've experimented with a lot of different that just did not stick.
Right.
But now, being in deep, I've now got one that has stick, and it's doing well. It's doing really well.
That's awesome to hear, man. I look forward to the future, man, and what it has for you. I'm excited. It's great to see it, man. I want to say this is the first development of a character that I've seen personally. Like, I mean, I see a lot of guys, they try to work different things, and I really truly believe that it's something that a person needs, to like you said, to reach out to the fans.
Correct.
It draws curiosity, man. Like
Correct.
I can't. But when I saw you with a lab coat, I was like, what the hell is going on here? And then I was like, the goggles, and then he came out with the scrubs. I was like, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. It's it worked. It worked, man.
Thank you very much.
So I mean, our doors here are always open for you. I mean, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you took the time out here.
Not a problem.
Mr. Wiley as well. This is something that I look forward to. I'm not gonna lie. I told the gentleman here that, hey, man, I got the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury.
That is correct. You did have the
here.
Technical Alchemist.
So I mean, let the fans know here. Mm-hmm. Where can they find you guys? Where's your next shows? What's coming up? What's up? What's next for for you guys?
Well, we wrapped up last night our shows for 2018 here in Tampa for our good friend Rex and GCW when they presented The Cure. Good turnout. We were able to help our friend, which I was very, very pleased to be a part of. Our next date of operation would be January 12th. That's right, the 12th day of January. The Technical Alchemist, David Mercury, will be at IPW as they present what is old is now new. Hear me when I say this one thing, IPW. You forgot about us. You forgot about me. But you see, I'm bringing someone. I'm bringing a whole new style of scientific tyranny to IPW. And when the massacre is done, lo and behold, the tyrant, Dagon Briggs, and the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury, will remain.
There you have it, guys. That's I don't know what to say. I'm sorry for that guy. Come that date, Mr. The Technical Alchemist, David Mercury.
Let us part.
Oh, all right, guys. All right. Well, he didn't even say bye. I guess it is what it is, you know, folks. I'm your host again, Isaiah Reyes. I mean, this has been Turnbuckle Trash Talk with the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury. It was awesome to have him here. You guys like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. This is possibly going to be the next big thing. Nothing, I don't want to brag about Barry Horvitz. No big deal. You guys can definitely follow him. We'll have his link on our page as well, where you guys can go ahead and see where his shows are coming and all that good stuff. So until next time.
No.